Alright, it's live. The worst, best
Alright,
podcast
so,
of all time.
Episode 2, right?
Two.
We're doing it?
Episode
We're
2.
doing it. Let's go. Yeah.
Two for you.
So I realized last week we didn't mention at all how we know each other and stuff. I feel like that would be a good thing to let people know, or
Doesn't
what the deal is for
that leaves the mystery, the allure.
Is that what it is? We're mysterious?
We all met in 4chan. That's actually how we met. We're all part of it.
Is that a hacker?
You don't. No, please. I don't want to get baited in the arguments today. My whole body got tense when you said that. It just made me so mad.
Well, let's see. Me and Patrick, aka PJ, met when we were what?
Kids.
I don't even know. How old are we? Like 15?
We met when we were kids.
Probably.
No ages.
Like
Something
15,
like that.
16,
14?
and
15?
14 maybe? Yeah, something like that.
15,
We've just been friends over the years. I think he's the only friend I've never been in a fight with, actually.
Like a physical
I
fight?
think you and I.
I don't
We
really
don't
fight
fight,
with
no.
anybody.
Oh, you mean
No,
just
we
period
usually fight.
arguing? Okay.
Yeah, like argument.
Yeah.
Like, I
fist
fight with you, like,
Dan,
every day, Brian.
Dan brawls with all his friends.
You do.
It's some crazy street brawls. MMA.
You do argue with me a lot. Happens. I argue with all my friends though. There's zero.
I actually don't know.
And
I don't
well,
know
let me
how the
keep
two
going.
of you two know each other.
Well, we met each other at work.
Yeah.
I was changing desk, and he was the guy that was taking my old desk.
It's true.
And I had accidentally kept the keys for the lock, and then I came over, and it was very early in the morning, and I'm a morning person, so I came over like, "Good morning there, sir. Here are your keys." And Brian had his tucked-in polo, and it was pulled nice and tight, and he said, "Oh, thank you." Back then, he didn't have a beard though. He didn't have a beard after he met me.
I was 20.
Before then, he was.
I was 20 years old back then. I wasn't even 21. Dan, that was 4 years ago, son, or like 3 years ago, at least.
Get out, bro. Get out.
Dan was so chipper though. He was like, "Welcome to TD Bank. Here are your keys to your future. You can open up this cabinet and store your dreams inside." I was like, "Get this fucking kid away from me." And then he sat down like 4 desks down. I was like, "God damn it." And then we never spoke again. For like a year and a half after that.
We never spoke again.
Pretty much. We had a mutual friend who was having a birthday, and she invited us to the party. And then we basically just started hanging out after that.
Well, Neil was part of the reason we were friends too. So obviously Neil and Dan knew each other from the previous department, Loan by Phone, where you guys all knew each other. I was working with Neil at the time. I was on Neil's team for technology. So Dan would stop at Neil's desk, but then Dan and I became actual friends when I went to his department as he was leaving. I have this tendency to appear right when Dan's leaving the location. And our friend Brittany was having a birthday, and she invited us both out. She invited people from the department, and him and I just started talking because he was like, "Oh, they have to find somebody to take on the work I was doing." He was like, "Great, this fucking dumb kid. I'll just give him all my work so I can transition smoothly," and it's pretty much started from there.
Look at this guy's showing off his dumplings.
I'm so hungry right now. I just want to order food. TJ, you and I. I'm trying to think of when I first met you. I know it was at the apartment.
At Dan's house at some point, I'm sure. Yeah. I don't know when.
Yeah.
Me and Brian used to be roommates, and of course, me and PJ have been friends for years. So that's how I came over to the apartment. Then met Brian. The rest is history. Here we are today.
I gotta say, I don't think I've ever argued
on the podcast.
I don't think I've ever argued with PJ either. Not that him and I have had that many conversations, but we've never.
I'm not a.
Because it's profound for me to say that.
He's not an angry guy.
Because
He's
I argue.
He's a good guy.
It's important.
Hear that, people? Hear that, world? This man over here, or wherever he may be when it's done. He's a good man.
Over.
It's true though. I argue with almost every person in my life for the most part because I get enjoyment out of arguing. But PJ is just he just finds a way to debate with you.
Yeah, dude, it's you.
He debates with you and then makes you still like him at the same time, which is really hard to do.
If you argue with everybody, it's you. Like, you're the,
I mean, I'm not
just running
screaming
around
at
and you
people.
argue with
He
anybody.
is.
I just
He really
need
is.
to point out why they're wrong.
Every flaw.
That's
your piece. Yeah.
That's the basic. I'm not that bad, alright? Jesus Christ. You guys are like, this guy.
You're so sensitive. Brian's very sensitive.
He's being sensy today.
What that? Okay,
So, I updated my phone this week.
Okay, how's that 6? How's that 6 looking?
Got the 6, which is
man.
it's nice. AT&T's been terrible though. My data plan's not working. No,
Really?
my data plan doesn't work at all. Yeah, I activated my phone, and I just haven't been able to get data since. They have no idea why. It's really weird.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I love how AT&T's like, we don't understand.
They didn't have an answer?
Yeah, no, they're like, we don't know why. Yeah,
That's
we don't know what
horrible.
the problem is.
So what's the solution? What are you waiting for? Or what's going to happen?
I don't know, man. They put in a ticket, so...
You're the only person who, like, is calm about it.
That's the problem.
The ticket.
You're the only guy who hangs up with the ticket. Like, oh, I'm paying $100 for this phone. You put in your ticket. Take your time. I don't need to use it. It's not
I'm in my
a
house
big
all
deal.
day.
Yeah,
I
this is
don't
why
know,
people
I'm
like you.
connected to Wi-Fi,
This is why people like
90% of
you.
the day.
Yeah, I use like 400 megabytes a month.
I go over it like a gig and a half every month, and I pay overages every month. It's terrible.
What is your usage normally?
Like 4.5 gigs.
Wait, you pay for only a gig?
4.5 gigs, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That
I
is
think
a
I'm like maybe
monstrous amount.
2.5.
Well, because okay, so the problem is I use my phone for like all of my music when I'm not at home. So when I'm at work, it's Pandora on my phone. When I drive, it's an aux cord playing Pandora when I drive. So like, if I'm not home,
So you pretty much listen to Pandora not on Wi-Fi for like 10 hours a day every day, Monday through Friday.
more or less for the whole and then I watch videos in between, so that doesn't help. If I'm not listening to music,
Oh
I'm
my
watching
God.
a YouTube video. So it's just constant data consumption on my phone.
They must love you.
I don't know if you can download. I might be able to download Pandora on our work computers now, since I'm on the updated operating system. I might be able to sneak that in.
No, but I would probably not talk about that on.
I didn't. We've never disclosed the name of where we work.
I could probably sneak that in my thoughts, but not in reality.
Yeah, you did. You did earlier in the episode, actually.
We didn't say
Dan
the.
mentioned it.
Do we say the 2 letters that matter, or do we just say a bang?
No.
What? The 2 letters that matter. No, yeah. You
I mean,
said
you're
the
making
name
it
of the
more and
bank,
more
man.
obvious the more you
You
go,
said
so
it.
you should probably just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're cut off.
The 2 letters.
You're cut off.
Way to be discreet about it.
I didn't put
The 2
it
letters.
together. I thought it was being super
You know what 2
sneaky.
letters I have for you?
What
F
other
you,
2-letter
alright? Shut
bank
up.
is there?
No, I know. I realized that now, but at the time of saying it, this is why I don't lie, because I'm not good at it. I'm not good at hiding things. I'm not good at lying. I'm very lazy. It's too much effort.
You're just.
I don't really
It's good not to lie.
I don't really plan my sentences past the one that I'm already in the middle of saying. Like it's. What's that
It's no
is.
I mean,
problem.
that was
Nobody's
just a
watching
parent.
this.
That was
Nobody's
apparent
watching
from
this
that
but
rambling.
Cats and Kaiser 4, yo. Cats and Kaiser 4.
Yeah.
Word up
Shout
to
out.
that guy.
Shout out to the single
Hello.
guy.
What's
How
up,
many
dude?
how many total views do we have? Like 7, which 5 are at least us.
I think we have 10, and they're probably all us but that guy. So word up to that guy.
I think he just saw the
definitely
name,
word up.
paused the video, wrote the comment, closed it. That's what I think actually happened. I think he was just like, you guys are, what did he say? World's best
Yeah, it doesn't
BFs?
matter.
Oh, he
It doesn't matter.
subscribed?
He wrote the comment. He
Well,
took
fuck
the
yeah.
time, and he subscribed.
Good day. I don't give a shit. He can close
So
it
if you
every
wanna
week.
be our next subscriber, maybe we'll talk
Brian,
about
what a
you like
scumbag.
this. Actually, we
Talking
probably
shit about
will, because
Cats
you'll
and
probably
Kaiser.
be the only other one.
It's not a maybe. We'll talk about you. And we'll talk about you in our personal lives. We'll be like, we have 3 fans. And we'll know you all by
Yeah.
name. Because we don't have that many friends, so it's easy to keep track of. But once we get to like
Building a
10
community.
plus, you guys will just be numbers at that point. I really won't care about you on a personal level. But this first 10, you guys are going to be
So
special.
be number 9. That's, number 9 is it.
Coca-Cola,
What
if
do
you
you
want to
have for
sponsor
dinner?
us. What am I going to do? I want Chinese now that Dan's just constantly consuming it in front of me.
Me too.
That's probably not going to
Me too.
happen. It'll probably be a bag of pretzels. And I'll go to sleep. and that'll be
Nice.
that. That's gonna be the reality.
Yeah, you need to. You should probably eat some. You don't have any more dry turkey left. This guy makes turkey sandwiches, no mayo, no mustard.
It's too much
Just a
effort.
piece of bread and some.
It's
and
going.
lunch meat.
I'm gonna eat it anyway.
That's disgusting.
You're disgusting. Shut up, idiot.
Just eat the turkey then. The
No,
dry ass
I
bread.
want cheese and some bread and some salt and pepper. Don't judge me.
Wait, there's cheese on it?
Yeah, of course there's cheese on it.
If there's cheese on it, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. There's
Yeah.
just
No,
dry
no
turkey
mayo
on
or
dry
mustard.
bread.
The mayo is just you gotta take the knife out and you gotta spread it, and it's just why am I doing it? It's gonna be a 5-minute process to eat it.
I have squirt mayo.
You gotta
And
get the
I have
squirt
squirt-
mayo, yeah.
I have squirt mayo and I have squirt mustard. I don't touch anything. Just
The time to
stuff,
make
lunch
the
meat,
product.
cheese, cut it in half.
If the time to make the product is exceeding the amount of time to eat the product, not worth it.
I mean,
Not
who
worth
eats a
it for me.
sandwich that fast? You gotta put love in that
No, that's
sandwich.
a
You're
good
gonna eat
point.
that.
I think that's a good ratio. You know, how long it takes you to eat versus how long it takes you to make it.
Yeah, unless you like cooking. If you're one of those people, there's people out there that they just enjoy cooking. That's awesome. That's like a hobby for you. I wish my hobby made me happy and full, but it doesn't. It usually makes me angry and friendless. So, I guess I chose wrong.
Yeah. Things happen in life.
Dude,
What'd you guys do
this
this
guy's
week?
been saying that
Tell me
all
about the
day.
comedy show.
That was
That's
really
what I was
good.
gonna say.
That was really good.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about Aziz or Aziz. I
Aziz.
guess Aziz. Is that
Aziz.
it? So the funniest part for me though, in hindsight, was he had a Michael Jackson impersonator as his like opener, but Dan and I we thought it was him at first, so it made it infinitely more funny because we just thought Aziz was up there just busting out like perfect Michael Jackson moves, and we're like, he's so good. And then it wasn't until he was like, all right guys,
And he tells comedy.
yeah, and then it wasn't until he was like, all right guys, give it up for like Justin, blah blah blah, and we're like, shit, that was not him, and we were just laughing at this guy the entire time. That was the personal best part for me. But his he sold out the Wells Fargo like the half set stage. It was like 8,000 people or so.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
So yeah, that was.
Do you guys do Twitter?
I don't.
Twitter accounts real quick. You
I do
don't.
not.
What about you, Dan? No.
No.
I don't know if we should get those.
Not yet.
Probably not.
Yeah,
All right,
Those
go ahead.
those are excessive right now. If we can't get YouTube followers, we're not getting Twitter followers.
But
Yeah, I feel like Twitter's
if you
easier.
get Twitter followers,
YouTube,
yeah,
you muddy up your
You get-
subscriptions.
exactly.
True. And you can just kind of do
People
like
put
Woody
nonsense in
one-liners,
there.
you know.
Twitter.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna have that much investment?
Exactly.
Anyway,
Is this world's worst getting the Twitter?
What?
We should just get a
I don't know,
one
we'll see.
YouTube or one Twitter account that
one
we share.
Twitter. That's good. I like that idea.
I like that idea
All
too.
right.
Because we're
All
not
right,
really
so,
personalities
anyway,
in our
back
own.
to- No.
Not yet. Not yet. Unless YouTube makes us that way.
You never know, man.
Crazier things have happened.
But
So
so
what
he
would
sold
be the
out
name
half
of
the
it?
Wells Fargo.
What's that?
You said he sold out half the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, like it was only the half stage anyway, but he sold out all the available seating, like minus a few that weren't bought because of scalping, more or less.
Good old sneeze. My apologies.
But yeah. This weekend I'm my brother's friend. His buddy or like his buddy's son or something like that just got accepted into the UFC. So we're going to see his first televised
What?
match. So that'll be pretty cool. So it's like his first,
That's
and
awesome.
apparently he's like a beast. He's like undefeated and like whatever. I don't know the fighting scene well enough, so I don't know what tiers below the UFC. But apparently he's been the champion, like the title holder, for over a year, and nobody will fight him
Okay.
anymore. Like he just decimates. He hurts too many people. So like he's ended careers just from like fucking people up. So then the
Who is
UFC
this
like
guy?
I'll have to get his name. Let me text. I didn't actually grab his name.
Dan, that noise is terrible.
What noise?
Are you doing something? Oh my God, you're
Is it-
closing Chinese containers. Come on, man.
It's it's the little things on the side. You know how they are. You know what I tried to do one day, being real cool? I tried to take my thumb and run it across, and I just slit my thumb right open, right on the silver parts. It was not cool at all. I've seen that before where like people are like, and they make it look real cool, and I was just like, ah! And then I was done.
Who are you trying to be cool for? You're at home.
Myself.
For
Myself.
himself. Yeah. You gotta impress yourself, man.
You gotta impress yourself.
Dan just wanted to be the next time we went out to Chinese. He'd be like, I'll box my own to take this home. Don't worry. Just slid it around. And everyone would be like, Dan's really good at boxing up fast food. Shit.
You guys ever had one of these?
Was it just a little watermelon?
It's a baby watermelon.
Why do you have
Just
it?
smaller?
What do you mean, why do I have it?
Like, there's no real need for fruit in this world. I haven't eaten much.
Fruit's delicious.
I'm fine.
Brian tried like his first piece of mango and kiwi at my house like a month ago. The first time in his life.
I don't like kiwi.
It was
You don't
okay.
like kiwi?
Kiwi was too
Wow.
mushy. It was too mushy for my taste.
What
I
do you,
liked
what do you
it,
think
but
this
I
is going to
don't like
say?
it. I like
What do you
fake
think this is going to
kiwi.
say?
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
It's about the podcast, though. It's not your fortune cookie. It's the podcast.
Ah,
fortune
you're
cookie.
right. Podcast portion.
So if it's-
Sorry for the noise. Open it.
Wait, we're gonna make actual predictions. Hold on, don't read it yet. Don't read it. PJ, what do you think
What?
it's gonna say? You gotta guess what our destiny is.
It's going to be a vague compliment that
That's
doesn't
it.
apply
Yeah.
to anything specific at all. That's it. That's the answer.
I got it. Ready? Happiness is in the form of a smile.
That's what?
That's not a compliment.
That's
That's not a
fortune cookie.
compliment. You were wrong.
Yeah.
You had like a 1% chance of being
I
wrong.
didn't read it yet. No, I didn't
Oh.
read it.
That was
That's
his
Oh,
guess.
oh.
That was the cookie.
Oh, I think it's gonna say something about treating others well. Some sort of
Okay, ready?
goodwill thing.
Okay.
It says, calamity and prosperity are the touchstones of integrity. Is that even viewable? I don't think it is.
No.
All right. That's
It won't
good.
focus on it. And the word on the
Well.
back is bread. Mao.
Bread.
And your
For our
lucky
Asian
numbers for
listeners.
today are 34, 35, 31, 53, 21, 25.
Great.
Now I'm going to eat an egg roll. I did the
Dude,
process.
Do you know
You
that?
can't- How are you eating the entire podcast? Like, how is that happening?
That's what I do.
The whole time, people hate you right now.
hmm
They didn't before. They sure do now. Oh man.
Did you know
Yo.
that fortune cookies are not Chinese?
Really?
What?
Explain.
Yeah, they're like Jewish or something. I think.
You ca-
I don't
You-
think that they're at all.
You can't
Chinese.
lead off
They
with
were
half the
added.
fact. You can't be like, did you
Oh,
know
Sorry.
this?
Sorry. Now I gotta find it. I guess.
That's horrible.
Now I
Like,
gotta find it. It was just like a thing I had in the back of my memory.
it's like my life is a lie, but I have no idea what the truth is. I don't know what to believe. You can make up your own fact at this point. Choice is yours. This is how religions are
No, I'm
born.
doing it. This is informative. Informative.
Informative. Eating egg rolls with a little bit of duck sauce. Yeah.
You know what I want to convince people to do? Let me get like 30 people, like 30 unborn, like are about to be born babies, right? And it'll be like an experiment where I can convince them of a new religion, and like I'll raise them on it, of this just made up religion, and then just show
Are you trying
that
to start a cult with our podcast?
I'm trying to
You're
prove
trying to start a cult.
how easy it is to convince
World's
people.
worst cult. That's what it'd be. WWC.
What was the world's worst coast?
Cult leader.
Isn't it the Westboro Baptist Church? Isn't that already the thing? I'm pretty sure they got that unwrapped.
It's possible.
What was that? What about Westboro Baptist?
They have to be the world's worst cult. They definitely already got that title.
Aren't they just like a family?
I mean, I think they try and sell themselves as like a family religion, but they're like very cult-esque. Like you can't leave. If you can't, if you're not, if
Oh,
you're,
you can?
yeah, there's been like people that have like left the family and then you're like excommunicated, and it's like getting people. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It's like leaving a cult. That's the best comparison, actually.
All right.
Like, it's just
That's
one
a
of
good
those things
comparison.
where, yeah, they just try and like mind fuck you from birth and like their way of thinking.
Yeah. So bad egg rolls, they're pretty delicious.
Yeah,
They're
what
all
do you
right.
guys? I have a question because I just saw this today. What do you guys think about when somebody passes away, right? And they have a Facebook page, and this usually happens with younger people I'm seeing, but people will continuously like make posts, like farewell posts, and like post pictures. Like,
Yeah.
do you guys think that's
Thinking about you.
do you think that's like too informal? Or do you think that's like just the new age way of like visiting a gravesite? Not to be like morbid, but is that like the
That's
new
exactly what it is. That's
is it
exactly what it is.
is that going to be the more
It's like a
norms?
gravesite with pictures and comments and feedback from that person. It's like better than a gravesite.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Think about the parents who are, or the loved ones who are able to then go to that page and see all these photos and see all these different comments from other people that they may have not met before or seen these photos before.
Yeah.
And now they get to experience these other things, with the people that they love that they lost.
Yeah,
and
it was
like
pretty
writing on
cool.
their page and whatnot. It's basically like going to the grave. I mean, people are going to do it. Grave sites is just morbid to go there, but if you can kind of just leave someone a quick message and let them know that you're thinking about them, even though they'll never read it, I guess it makes you feel better in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, other people see it too.
I think
It's
I
nice
don't
to see a bunch of people miss someone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would want it personally. I think that would be cool. Like if I passed away, like I think I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like you always think of like if the person would be like offended by the fact that people are doing that, but I think the family would know best. Like if somebody didn't want people just leaving messages. The one thing I think about though is it kind of makes it may make it harder to move on from the situation almost. I don't know because it's always there.
Maybe.
And if it's
And
like
why do
on,
you think people would get offended? Why would?
I don't know. People have different get offended for different reasons. Like maybe people wouldn't want to like have somebody almost treated like they're still alive. Like I don't know. I can't think of the right way to express it. I wouldn't be.
I don't know. I feel like that's victimless. I feel like nobody would. People pretty much don't give a shit. They would be
People
happy
always give a shit.
about it.
There's always
I
that
don't know.
demographic. There's always that demographic
I guess
people.
that's true.
I don't know. The only thing I think it would be hard at first is like, because Facebook like makes it everything public, right? Like if you make a wall post, like I'm not friends with the person that passed away. I was like friends of a friend, and I saw this guy's post, and I kind of went to the page and saw all the comments. But if you're like that guy's dad, and
Yeah.
like every day on your wall is just like 50 messages, like I don't know. I think it makes it always on your
Yeah,
mind.
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. They should
I
give
mean,
you
you
the
can always
option to
send them a
hide or
private
ignore
message.
people's posts.
No, you can send people private messages like to their inbox.
but that's not
Like
what it
not
was
on
though.
their not on their page.
These were all wall posts. I mean, again, it was cool to look
Yeah.
at it and see like all these people that cared about this individual, and they're all sharing photos. They're all saying like, I saw this crazy sunset today. Like, reminded me of like when we did this thing together and things like that, which is cool for like people to be able to express themselves that transparently. But I gotta wonder for the people that are like directly affected, like that constant state of
I think
reminders. I don't know. It's just something I
I
thought.
think it's a good thing. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, in reality, not many people are going to visit a gravesite, but more people will show their love or whatever on Facebook. It's a convenience thing for them, and again, it's not morbid to like have to actually drive to a cemetery and like do the whole "I'm standing at your grave" thing. You know what I mean? Some people, don't
Yeah.
have. Do you ever get? I don't know.
Well, here's also a weird case. I knew somebody who passed away due to drug-related issues, and there were like wall posts that he was getting that were like very graphic about the things that he used to get involved with. And like, meanwhile, like his family members can read that sort of stuff.
Right.
And like that's kind of uncomfortable too. You don't want to broadcast this person's dirty laundry all
Life.
over the place, even though they're gone. They still have people around that probably don't want that information all over the place.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's definitely not allowed. I would say if you're going to write on someone's wall who passed away,
But you can't
probably
control
make
it. It's like an all or nothing
friendly in a
thing.
sense, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. The
Right.
person should be
The only person that can
a
delete
good
it is
enough
gone.
person. Yeah, exactly. Unless like someone
What
happened
if they
to have
had
their password.
beneficiaries? What if you could leave your Facebook account to somebody with like a beneficiary, and
I'm
like,
sure
when
that's
you
gonna
pass
happen,
away,
though.
if that person proves it, you can take over their account. See, I
They
think so
should have
too.
that, honestly. With the amount of stuff, information basically that people put on Facebook, the number of photos, all that stuff. I mean, they should do something like that. So it's like, oh, if that ever did happen, someone could access your stuff. And even if it wasn't your private messages, they could still access like all of your photos and like your wall. Like you could block off the inbox or delete all the previous inbox messages or something like that. You know what I mean?
I think it's
So
gonna
now,
happen.
like, all of your stuff is out there.
I think it's gonna happen more and more. Not to get away from the whole Facebook aspect of it. I think digital goods, in a sense, like if somebody has all their stuff in like a cloud, like you're gonna start leaving control of those accounts to people. I think, like in the future, like most people's lives are probably digital. Like they probably have. How many people go paperless for like everything now? Like you're gonna have to have something to be like, oh, please relinquish my email account, so like people can figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably even third-party services that maybe collect that information. You know what I mean? You can have one account somewhere that basically holds all of your accounts.
Maybe.
So if something were to happen to you, you go to one place and you have all their information. I feel like that would be
We
useful.
should make that. Yeah, we should make that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would still need permission from all the different vendors to like link in all their data.
Oh, totally. To plug in and stuff.
We'll
I mean, I guess if you just stored username and passwords.
Well, yeah,
there's apps that do that.
Yeah. But then, now you transition to a whole different layer of like internet security. If you have everyone's password stored in one location for all the most popular things, like that's just you're gonna target that thing all day, every day, constantly.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have some major security on that website.
That'd be a good way for the NSA to like build their reputation back up. They're like, listen, guys, we got all the data you need when you need it, and it's safe and sound. So if you ever need all of someone's passwords, that's a service we can provide to you. NSA, if you guys are looking for ways to like commercialize,
they're the cloud.
They're are.
Skynet.
They are. They definitely are.
Fucking everybody's Skynet. Google's Skynet. Everybody's Skynet.
Google is
Skynet.
Google is horrifying. Like they are. Yeah. They're like the silent terror of the world.
But aren't you so curious? I'm like, I feel like all these companies are up to some shit, but I'm like, I'm just gonna wait it out and see what happens. Like, what can you do? What do they want to right now?
Well, Google, I think it was the government, and this I may not be entirely factual in this. I'm paraphrasing and
speculate. That's how we do it here.
Citing stories that I've heard. But I believe Google was attempting to build a true AI, like true self-sufficient intelligence, and they were actually scanning and bringing in every written text into one database, so to speak. And I think the government or somebody questioned them or barred them from doing it. So like, why are you guys like just gathering like every like piece of information? And they're like, we need something to feed the AI. Like it can't be self-sufficient of everything if it's not aware of everything that's out there. So like they are building the infrastructure for like a core intelligence that would be capable of understanding or knowing every known piece of information in the world, which is horrifying. Plus, nanotechnology is a thing. People think it's like whimsical.
Once it has opinions.
People think nanotechnology is like far, far away. It's like 10, 12 years away. The infrastructure is being developed, and right now the problem is the materials to make like a nanochip. It's we don't have enough of it, and the process to like synthesize it and do all that stuff. I don't know the specifics. I just know it's very long. But over time, it becomes easier and easier to reproduce. Like it kind of like quantifies the process. Once you have the infrastructure in place, you can easily. That's why phones get the chipsets. Yeah, that's why the chipsets get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And eventually, nanotechnology, probably in about 10 years or so, that's when you get multi-threading. So binary will be four layers of addition and subtraction, and rather than two. And that's where you get into quantum threading and all that stuff for like data processing. So that's when you're going to see the next technological boom, where like right now we're kind of just like doing this steady climb, and then it's just going to do that spike again, like the 70s, 80s when everyone got home computers.
The adoption curve. It's all technology. It's the same shit.
Yeah. That's but the point is though, is it's gonna like shit's gonna get crazy. Like it's gonna get nuts when that comes in.
Yeah, as simple as that.
Like
It's gonna get nuts.
I'm talking about like self-aware defense systems that are be like robots that are like multi-processing decision-making skills. So if like an intruder's like armed with said things, they'll know how to handle that situation best. Like being able to like, well, you're already seeing it now. You're seeing people who like lost a leg and they like have basically a robotic leg. Like that's a thing, and they can run again and stuff like that. Like there's limited cases of it, but that's gonna get more and more refined to the point where like you're gonna be able to replace your leg. Like that's gonna be a thing. Probably like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I was reading about autonomous corporations. Do you know anything about that?
Autonomous?
I know a little bit.
Like Optimus
Autonomous
Prime?
corporations. Basically, what it is it's like, let's say I start a taxi cab business, okay, that can accept digital payments and all of these things. The car itself is pretty high tech and aware. When things break on it, like if it's like a self-driving car, it can drive itself to a repair place.
Right.
It can manage to pay the repair person themselves. It can continue to go back to what it's doing, continue to make more money, and it's all completely untouched. You don't have to do anything but basically put this thing in motion, and it will do what it's meant to do indefinitely until it runs out of money, basically.
I think the biggest.
So that was pretty cool.
I think the biggest thing with those though is the insurance companies are fighting it because they're going to lose money.
What, the self-driving cars?
Yeah, because if you look at the statistics for like Google Maps, Google Maps is done through automatized cars. They mapped everything. Those cars that drive around are automatized. There's no actual drivers, and they released the reports on like the amount of miles driven. It was like a crazy amount of miles, like more than you'll ever drive in your lifetime, like times a billion. Like it was a shit ton. And they were only in 3 recorded accidents, and they were all while the vehicle was parked and not by them. People drove into the car because they weren't paying attention. So literally 0 accidents, which means insurance is making 0 money, and like so they're like,
what's a racket? Car insurance is a fucking racket.
Yeah. It's like all insurance. Insurance is becoming a thing where it's going to become less and less useful as technology and healthcare and things like that get more and more progressive. The need to buy into something that
to protect you from
things that might happen.
Exactly. It's just as the infrastructure becomes more and more sophisticated, those things become less and less useful. And they make a shit ton of money right now, and they regulate everything. Like insurance companies, I don't even want to get into the whole like medical side of it because that's just absurd and enraging.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Stuff like that should not. I don't know. I don't think that stuff like that should work to a profit. Something like healthcare is just very. Like, I just feel like we should figure out how to scale this. The industrialization of medical care, it just needs to be worked on, I feel like, because there's, I don't know, a lot of situations that just don't make any sense.
What's crazy to me is the people that are okay with the current healthcare system. And I'm not saying that the proposed ideas, and I'm not going to claim that I know enough about the current system or the proposed ideas, but I'm not saying that they're perfect. But you can take, let's use like a simple example everyone will understand. Like, Europe's making a Honda Civic, right? It's a 2012 Honda Civic. And America's making a 2012 Honda Civic. And Europe's charging $15, and America's like, that shit's worth $2,000. And everyone's like, this system's fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this, because it's like, and the whole concept is, oh, America's funneling all the money into research, so of course, like, it's going to be more money if it's in-house development, blah, blah, blah.
We have the best hospitals in the world, and...
But basically, the insurance companies
thought.
are paying themselves, more or less. Like, they just, like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's so, like, super corrupt. And no one seems to care. There's so much corrupt shit that everyone's just like, eh. Because no one's directly affected.
There's a lot of stuff out there, though, and it's going to slowly get weeded out. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think
people recognize it now.
People recognize it, but look at us. We all recognize it. I'm fairly educated on it. You're fairly educated on it. We haven't done jack shit.
Yeah.
And we won't until
There's only
you
so
and
much
I...
you can do.
But we won't care to do anything until you and I can't get medical assistance. And then once we can't get medical assistance, when the majority of America can't afford it, if that ever happens, that's when shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. Things happen when they are supposed to happen. I feel like.
Or when they escalate too
Everything
highly
takes
because we
time.
ignored everything.
Yeah, yeah. That's where it's global warming, and then it doesn't happen. So
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
yeah,
There's some things that are hyped up and people are misled based on speculation. Maybe people are gonna be misled based on
Apparently
our
there was
podcast. Who knows?
speaking of
Shit
global warming,
happens.
apparently there was like 65,000 or 35,000, one of the two numbers, walruses on Alaska's like coast,
I don't know why
and they
it's
usually
funny.
hang out on ice, but there's all the ice is melting, so they have nowhere else to go. So now they're actually hanging out on the shoreline of Alaska.
So
All
here's
these walruses.
so here's why I don't buy into global
Not
warming.
really. They don't have any ice.
you don't. Okay,
They're sad.
go ahead. Brian's against global warming.
So
Go ahead.
I'm against
Please
global
continue.
warming because obviously we had an ice age, so there's climate trends. Okay, it's fair to say that the Earth has climate trends because we've had periods of very very cold, and now we could be very well entering a period
Right.
of warmth. Right? Maybe that's for some sort of ecological reason that we don't understand because as a race of humans we haven't been around long enough to observe the trend. Right? The other thing is,
Right.
and this is an old statistic, maybe it's 2 years ago, but I think humans are like 1.1% of the carbon emissions, or like less than that. Like our carbon emissions that people are like, oh, carbon
Yeah.
emissions gotta be saving the environment. Like we actually aren't that big of a contribution to that where that 1% is just gonna start killing all the walruses. Like it's not our fault. Like, and I don't think any level of
Yeah.
reduction that we do is really gonna save the planet. If we were really, really in a state of crisis, the government would be forcing us to stop doing shit. Like,
Of course.
it's
Of course.
people think we have freedom.
I
You
think.
only
I
have
think.
freedom until it's a problem. That's
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that you have valid points as far as global trends and stuff like that. Absolutely. If there's some sort of catastrophic event, let's say we have a volcano that goes off, it's going to fuck with the weather like nobody's ever seen before. Let's say we get hit by a huge meteor, it's going to fuck with the weather, and we're screwed no matter how much we save. Stuff like that. I mean, you can't really. So it is what it is. An ice age is going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, there's nothing that we can do with that.
you're breaking up. I don't know if that's for
Um,
me or
Yeah.
anyone
and
else.
I
No,
don't.
no, actually, you broke up for me also.
Hold
Shit.
on.
Oh,
All right.
there you go. You're back.
Anyway, if an ice age is going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about that. I don't know how much. I would like to know how much of what we do is the environment. I think that's an
I
interesting
think it's like
fact,
less
you
than
know.
1% or like 1.5%. It's low. It's not. I'm trying to look it up.
What is the rest of it? What is the rest of the pollution coming from?
I think it's just natural cycle. Like it's all.
Natural pollution?
Well, whatever. I don't know. Maybe that was really dumb to say.
What? But no. But what is natural pollution? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that part of it.
Yeah.
It's frankly just never been something I've really concerned myself with because I just kind of looked at it at a high level and was like, I just don't see this happening.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I
One way
gonna
or
do?
another,
What am I gonna do?
there's nothing you
Stop
can do
driving
about
my
it.
car?
Yeah. I want an electric car because it would be cool to have an electric car, not because I'm trying to save the world.
That,
You know, I think it would be cheaper. I think they would be more efficient, and they would be more reliable.
that's
Yeah, they
that's
definitely
I could
be
care less about-
cheaper.
that's the thing with
We just need the electric charging stations. That's what they need. They need electric
What's that?
charging stations.
Well,
Boom.
South Korea is going a step further
Right.
with that. Obviously, because Seoul is not very large, and that's the majority of their populace is like in Seoul. Like otherwise, it's like not
Yeah.
super sophisticated city life. They're building like electric roads that like you drive on, and they charge your car like while you drive on it.
Oh, you
Like-
know, I read about that before. Yeah, that's really cool.
But we can,
How
it's
does
not.
that work?
It's not. I don't know how it works. I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that makes sense because it'd be like if the U.S. had all their money to dump into one city. Like obviously that city would be the shit, but we don't do that
Yeah.
because we have a lot of cities. The problem is the U.S. is it's so large that any level of
Yeah.
infrastructure development is a huge undertaking, and you don't want to put money into a energy solution if that solution's not going to be practical in 5 years. I think we're holding out for something. That's my guess. Is that like I think we
Yeah,
look at
thorium.
electric and we're like, okay, that's good, I can see how that's sufficient, but how much money is that actually going to save us if we have to develop X amount of infrastructure? And what's the long-term
Yeah.
benefit? And I think there's got to be some level of long-term benefit that isn't there. Otherwise, we would absolutely move on it. Like, we're the first, or we
Yeah,
attempt to be
but
the
it's also
first.
electric from what? Electric doesn't just come from somewhere. You have to do something to power the generators to get the electric. So
Yeah.
it's like a stopgap.
I think for certain places it works, and for others it's not practical. That's the best way to really put that.
Well, apparently
Yeah.
Munich, Germany, is going to be all renewable energies by like 2030, I believe I read. The whole city is going to be just renewable energies. Yeah.
That's cool.
No more fossil fuels in Munich.
Is nuclear
and that's a big
considered
city.
renewable energy? Or is that
I believe
not?
so.
That's probably a stupid question.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure,
I think nuclear is like it takes energy from whatever, like that little central thing. I can't think of the right word.
And that thing gets spent.
And it eventually has a half-life, and it gets less and less and less and less and less. And you have to replace it.
Well, yeah, they have to dump the uranium. Yeah, you have to replace it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's renewable.
So probably not.
I think it's
this
practical.
Is more like wind and electric, probably.
It's highly dangerous, but I think it is I think nuclear energy is a practical way if it wasn't so fucking dangerous. Like from a cost perspective, I think it's cost efficient. That's the way I want to say that. Not practical. It's cost efficient, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of I think.
Well, nuclear is not as bad as people make it out to be. I don't believe it's nearly as dangerous as people think it is.
Fukushima in Japan, the one that melted 2 years ago. I mean, that leaked a ton of stuff into the ocean and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
It's like if it gets messed up,
plane crashes.
The problem is the drawbacks.
Plane
crashes are super graphic and they look awful. You know, they're really dramatic. Just like a nuclear reaction shutdown.
Yeah, but Chernobyl, dude.
Well, no, it has long-term effects versus short-term. Like a plane crash is short-term.
This was what, in the 70s? Don't you think our technology's gotten a little better?
Yeah, but the risk-reward.
This happened a couple years ago.
Well, we were talking about Chernobyl.
Yeah.
The problem is problem is that even if it's 0.0001%. The fuck was that ringing? Even if it's 0.001%, if that happens and you have, dude, seriously, guys are killing me.
Where's that coming from?
What are you talking about?
It's just ringing.
There's a ringing.
All right.
Dead silent over here.
No, but if you have lasting effects, that's the problem. I don't think it's the level of pollution emissions. I don't think it's the cost to maintain it. I think it's the risk reward of if it goes wrong, which it will inevitably somewhere at some place somehow go wrong. Nothing's ever perfect forever. Then if you fuck a large enough area for 50 years because of nuclear pollution, is that worth it? Is that worth it for what you're gaining out of it?
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of recovery time.
That's
true, especially if there are other options.
My dad does high voltage work, but he's been in nuclear plants. He says it's really, really intense. He's well, some of them are really intense, and he's some of them are just come on in. But other ones, you have to go through different levels of clearance.
Just get on in here.
You have to go through different levels of clearance. Put a suit on, go through those scan rooms. The coolest place my dad ever said he went though was there's 3 main communication centers in the U.S. that were established back near World War II. They're underground silos that are protect the main lines basically that feed all the phone lines of the country. There's 3 main areas, and one of them's in Washington. I think one's in New York or somewhere else. But he went in to work on one, and you go down.
You're giving away your spots here, Brian. This is national security right now. You're giving it away.
But you go down into the silo, and they literally the guys that work there, they have a full-on living space. And the way they explained it is, in case they were ever attacked, they literally seal the door from the inside, and they just have to live in there until it's a full-on a living room, a bedroom, like a house built inside their workspace.
But you can buy those actually. I've looked those up online. You can actually find ones that are empty, underground houses basically, and you can
Like
actually
bomb
buy one.
shelters?
Yeah, basically, but like big ones, they have them.
So I thought that was cool to like actually have like a contingency plan for like if we're invaded, we're like let's just seal it off. Like it'd be like weird to have like people trying to invade your country, like bombarding your underground communication silos. Like attacking the U.S. is probably going to be one of the most like intricate, involved things if somebody ever does do it. Like if anyone does like a
Yeah,
like a
I
land
don't think you
invasion,
could.
not right now, not in
It's
its current
impossible.
state, not in its current state. Our navy is ridiculous.
Never actually.
Never.
It just never.
Never's
There's just
not a reality.
nah, it's just never.
Never's
That's
not a
why
reality.
they didn't invade in World War II. No, they didn't invade in
Well,
World War II because
yeah,
not
it's a
only
guerrilla
fighting the armed
situation.
forces of America, which has the largest army, we also have the most guns per citizen, like out of any country. I mean, we all bear arms
We do.
here, so it's not only fighting our military, Navy, Marines. As soon as you land, you have a bunch of Americans with guns, especially if they come up from the South. I suggest no one ever does that. But if you come up from the South, they all have guns. Like, you're not only just fighting these armies, you're going to be
coming through
fighting every
Canada.
single
Yeah, but
citizen.
these are current day statistics. I'm not arguing that like
No,
right
this
now.
is from World War II I'm talking about.
Okay, no, okay. I'm saying, but these are all within like recent history of when we've been the most powerful or a growing nation. It'll be interesting to see the rise and fall. I mean, Russia was the most powerful country in the world, and then it's not that they're not a world player anymore, but they're definitely significantly behind the U.S. in terms of like military strength. Uh, it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see how long we sustain this level of superiority. Like economically, you can argue like, oh, you know, we're suffering, but that doesn't really matter when you still have the strongest military. If push came to shove, I'm sorry to say, people, the U.S. isn't like screaming bald eagles, fucking let's save the world. If people were dying in our own country, we're gonna go take some shit. That's just gonna happen. We're gonna
Oh,
force our
totally.
hand. Like that's
Yeah.
it's all about self-preservation, and we have the tools to do it, which is why everyone gives us money when we're like, hey, can we please get some money? Because we're gonna be forced to do some shit otherwise.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. Our
Yeah, it's
credit.
like a big North Korea.
That's the reality of how we function as a nation right now. Like our Navy, like if you look at the stats for like our Air Force and Navy, it's like staggering. Like I think we have like 15 aircraft carriers, and the next closest in the world is like 2. Like we may have more aircraft carriers than every nation in the world combined. Like
We do.
like
Rest of the
That's
countries,
crazy.
though, if you're watching,
That's really crazy.
we still love you. We'll still take you as subscribers. We're not against any country.
Yeah,
We love
what's up?
everyone. Just don't invade us. But subscribe and like us. And you can invade our YouTube page. And we're fine with that. Invade our YouTube page.
God, you're like the
That's
fucking
cool.
Canadian in the
Scott-
podcast. Where the fuck is your patriotism? My God, you're like, oh, feeble nations of the world, please, don't ever attack us. Christ, don't put you in the front lines.
It's called being friendly.
Yeah.
Learn how to do it. This is why you get in arguments with every
extend a
person you
hand.
know.
You can be friendly and maintain your pride. That's a thing. That's a right
Fucking
to do.
patriot.
See this?
That's what you are over
You
here.
see this?
I'm not.
Super patriot.
I don't want your
Extend
fucking
your
hand.
hand, Brian.
Get your goddamn hands out
Extend
of
it.
here.
Yeah. You
Extend
got
it.
love.
Extend it.
No,
Do it.
Do
I'm
it.
giving it peer
Alright.
pressure. Go away.
Otherwise,
above-
He's the worst type of person.
I'm the
Please
fucking.
put him on the front lines.
I'm the poster board of the Dare program. I'm above the influence. Can't get to me.
No, 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 no,
Where are
no,
we
no.
time-wise?
We're at
Time-wise?
54 minutes.
Well, that's when the
Right
call
now, we're at
started.
54 minutes.
Probably like 45
Which is-
recording-wise.
Okay.
So do we want to do 45 normally? Do we want to do an hour?
We should just do an hour.
What's the plan?
45
for the
feels awkward. I can check.
Yeah.
We've been
What's it awkward?
we've been recording for 48 minutes. So let's just do
Oh, yeah, I
another.
don't know.
Just do another. Who wants to do 45? Just who ends anything on 45? It's either a half an hour or an
Let's
hour.
end it on 47. 47
Yeah, but
minutes.
if people are like, oh, it's an hour. Ugh. I watch
Oh, yeah,
15
exactly.
minutes.
Because this
but an
15
hour?
minutes would make a
Ugh.
huge difference.
It is.
People do that. That's just
It's
how it
true.
goes.
You're not getting
Ugh.
strapped down. You're not getting strapped down to fucking watch all hour at once, one sitting, eyes open the entire time.
Yes, people will.
Yes, you are.
I
No,
bet
but
that's
you
what
aren't forced to, is my
Kaiser
point.
4 did.
You could watch the whole hour over the course of a year if you wanted to. That's your choice. You're an American.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
that right. We fought for that
There's
right.
a flow. There's a flow. You jump in the flow, you jump out of
Some
the flow.
people don't like flows. I'm trying to be accommodating for everyone out there.
Everyone likes flows.
Everyone likes
Gotta
flow.
like flows. Who's like, oh, flow?
There's
no
someone.
one likes flow. Progressive.
The people who don't want to
We gotta
progress
have our
and don't
weekly
like
interview
flows, I'm your guy. If you want to be that person, if you just want to be against whatever the other two people in this podcast are saying, leave a comment. Talk to me. That's my job here. Because otherwise it'd be three guys getting along.
As you see fit.
Well, it'd be the worst podcast ever if we all just share the same
Ace
opinion.
wants to be on the show.
He's the worst dog ever. I hate him. I don't actually hate him. He's very lovable.
No, you can't.
There's dogs outside or
He's
something,
very,
so he's
very lovable.
he can be. You gotta warm up to him.
He
You can't
freaks
just walk in the
out.
house and he's not gonna jump all over your face. You gotta let him know who you are.
Once he
needs to
knows
trust
who
your
you are,
character.
if you don't sit the fuck down as soon as you walk inside, he will just freak out until he can jump in your lap.
1 minute.
Of course. That's Ace.
That is Ace
That's what Ace
22.
does. Name of the game.
Man, I am hungry still.
So you gonna get Chinese?
No, probably not. I'm so lazy to the point where like getting a haircut is a process for me. Like when I start getting to the point where like I need a haircut, because I just got it. I think about it, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm gonna get a haircut after work today, and then like 2 o'clock hits there and I'm like, I'm getting kind of tired, and like 4 o'clock hits and I'm like, I'm not getting a haircut. I'm not driving to that place to sit down. It's people don't want people like are like, you're crazy, like it's no effort. I'm like, it's a process. You gotta go in.
It is a process.
It's totally a process.
Dislike it.
You gotta make
when
conversation.
I initially shaved my head, I was like, I never have to go to a hairdresser again. This is awesome. I'll just do this in my bathroom.
Yep.
And I get hair back, and I'm like, oh, I need this and that, and let me talk about your weekend with you. Nothing
No,
against hairdressers if you're watching.
terrible.
It's just
I like conversations when I get my haircut. I think it's awkward as shit to get your
What do you
haircut
talk
in
about?
silence. No,
I'm trying to get in and out.
I'd rather talk the whole
Get me
time.
in, get me out.
If you could argue with me, it's even
What do you
better
talk
because
about?
that conversation will. Because if you are talking, it's over. Like it feels like that when I'm just staring at myself.
Or they talk and they just take their time with cutting your hair.
And then I'm just watching everything you're doing. I'm like, well, and I'm just judging you the whole time. I don't want to judge you.
You do
I
that
just,
anyway. You're that type of person.
I'm judging you based on what you're saying. Then
It's like spa day. You just go there and relax.
it's not relaxing for me.
Have
I
them
need-
wash your hair if you want them to do that.
If there's awkward silence,
All
it's
that.
just uncomfortable, and I try everything. I just pretend I'm
Doesn't have to
dating
be
you.
awkward.
It is. I don't like it, man. Awkward silence. I'm just my inner monologue is just
Why is
freaking
it awkward
out.
though? You just sit there and relax.
Because I'm like, why isn't this
Ryan,
person
do not
talking?
wink into the webcam again. Why are you winking into the webcam? Don't do
Because
that.
I want people to talk to me.
No, you don't. Don't wink into the webcam. No winks allowed. No winks allowed. No winks allowed.
Winks allowed.
All right. NWA Wolfpack. Woo!
Dan's got a fucking phrase. At last podcast, it was haters and gators. Now we're the fucking NWA.
You know, NWA is an old wrestling,
No winks
old
allowed.
wrestling group.
Episode 2. No winks allowed.
No winks allowed. Episode.
I don't
2.
like how
We're
the
watching
arms
it
of my
here
chair stick up.
on-
It's like 2 bit dicks that I'm just like.
Yeah, what is that?
They're the arms
You're
of
a
my
rocket
chair.
ship, dude.
They're the arms of my chair that I fold up.
Why do they need to come up so high? I don't understand. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. A monster mash.
How do we go
It
from
was something
spaceship to
splash.
Monster Mash? Yo, here's how we closed it. Do we have enough time? We don't. It's 59 minutes. Hey, hold on. How much time do we got?
What?
Topic for next week: dreams.
What?
We're gonna talk about crazy dreams we've had.
Ah.
We got on that last night.
No way, dude. Dreams are so
Hey.
boring.
No,
So boring.
no, they're
I'll bring
not.
out my
Tell us
dream.
how boring other people's dreams are.
I had a dream. I'll end
I
it with
will
this
bring out
then.
my
I had a
dream
dream.
I have a dream book.
Fine, yeah,
Now
tell
we're
your
not going
story.
to end with this.
So my
I don't
dream.
wanna end with Brian's
this
dream.
guy.
No, this dream I had. I was at my workplace
Dude,
and I was
bring down
having
the whole show.
I was having a
There it
casual.
is, 25 minutes later. 25 minutes
It's a
later.
5-minute stream if you just let me explain it. We're just wasting time right now. Shut up. So the dream. That's
No.
scared. That's
Winks. Allowed. No wings allowed.
Just tell your story, bro.
I don't even want to. Because everyone has a different level of expectations now. Everyone's like, this better be the best
You
dream
hyped
I've
it up too
ever
much.
heard.
You
This
hyped
better
it
be
up.
the inception of dreams, or I'm not listening. It's a waste of my time.
He just-
And you guys are on the
So it's the
podcast.
podcast to-
Inception was the inception of dreams.
Exactly.
I don't want to tell it anymore. I'll bring it up on a different time.
All right, well,
You successfully killed my dreams.
next week.
And my hopes.
Next week. He walks away. We're trying to close up shop, and he walks away.
That's the best way to
Terrible.
fucking close up shop. I hope he just signs off and the screen goes black.
There's Ace. All right. That's a little recovery.
That's
Well,
recovery? I didn't even tell the dream, and you're acting like I did. You're like, oh, that shit got ugly.
Go away, Brian. Your dream is done. You know where your dreams end? Right here when I sign off.
No, I said that's.
Have a nice night, everybody.
We still got 4.5 minutes, which would have been plenty.
All right, go
time
ahead.
to tell
Okay.
I'm not
Go
telling the
ahead.
dream.
Then tell your
I'm
story.
I'm not telling it. No, I refuse.
All right.
And we'll see what the comments say.
so-
Yo, to all my fans, to all of our subscribers, hopefully after this, comment in the YouTube channel if you want to hear my
Whoa.
dream.
Let's go for
If you want to
two.
hear, it's a scary dream.
Let's go
It
two.
wasn't the whimsical
Episode
one.
2.
It was a fucking horrifying
2
dream.
For you.
It haunts me, dude. It was
Episode two.
terrifying.
Is a nightmare?
Dude, it was
Nightmares are different.
it was a nightmare. Yeah, it was. She was.
Why
I woke
did you
up.
say that?
It's
Let's just end on the frustration. Extend the hand, PJ. Extend the hand to Brian.
Tell
Extend
us.
the hand.
Come on.
all right. Fine. I'll fucking just do it real quick, because it made no sense, and it makes no sense to me to this day, and I can't make sense of it. Did I mention it makes no sense? So okay, I was in work. I'll make this real quick. I was in work. I was just talking to somebody, having a casual conversation, and then all of a sudden the whole room goes dark, and I hear like manic fucking laughing. And this guy, like this demon, like a gray face, black eyes, covered in blood, and like overalls, but only one, it was ripped, just starts screaming, "You will be afraid," in like this crazy ass voice, and I can't move, and I want to move so bad, and I can't. It's just like, "You will be afraid, you will be afraid," and it's fucking just keeps freaking out, and with these dark, soulless eyes, and I keep getting closer and closer. It's like it's a gravitational pull, and I'm just like freaking the fuck out. I'm like, nope, 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 and then it grabs me. It grabs me and it licks my face. It fucking licks my face. And then it just laughs. It just stares at me
What
with this
does the tongue
fucking.
look like?
I don't. It was licking my. I couldn't. I'm not like look. You can't look at your cheek when you're being licked. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
guess
It
that's
just. It was like.
So
but
you
in
were
the-
being. So
and,
it
then,
was.
and then it just held me back and just laughed at me, and like this horrifying laugh. And then I just woke up and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm terrified. The demon was right. It won. I'm scared, but I don't know why. And
I think it means you were touched as a child.
that is horrible. Are we gonna end with the fact that?
I think that's what it was.
Are we gonna end with the fact
That's what
that?
Just think about it. But that's
Are we gonna end with the
probably-
fact that you
that's
think I was
probably what it
molested
was.
as a child? You think I have long-term molestation
No.
scarring?
I'm just saying.
Fucking kids watch
I'm
this
just saying.
podcast, dude. And we're gonna end it on the note.
Hold on a second.
What
I'm gonna
kids?
put this to bed.
Nobody watches this.
YouTube's community is a demographic of ages 13 to 14. No one else is on YouTube leaving comments. That's it. They're the only
they're like
ones.
40. They just type like they're 13.
Oh
Here's
wait,
my dream
insult everyone. It's too late. We got a minute
What
30.
Dreamer's Dictionary. All right, he's got a. Let's see.
Yeah, let's.
Look up licking demon
I'm gonna
face.
What do you
look up.
search?
I'm gonna look up lick. All right. To dream of being licked by an animal predicts that you will be.
It's not an animal.
Surely
It's a fucking demon. That's
Brian.
entirely different.
Can I read? Can I read? Can I read? To dream of being licked by an animal predicts that you will surely be asked to advise a friend or relative in a serious matter. Be as helpful as possible by avoiding personally involved. A dream of being licked by a baby forecasts a happy outcome to your current problems. If you dream concerning licking something yourself, it indicates satisfaction in passing small matters. Lick.
Dude, I did not wake up and was like, I should give someone advice. That's not how I woke up from that dream. I
This
promise you. That was horrible. It wasn't an animal,
The
dude.
fact that this
It wasn't a
book
fucking
implies
bunny
that
rabbit.
Dreams predict the future.
I think they
But the
do.
book- the
I
book
totally
said
do.
That your dream predicts the future. No way. Get out of
Dream,
here.
dreams are
That makes no
indicative of your
sense.
future. Yeah. They're of your wants and hopes, and They make it come true. They make it a reality because you're always thinking about it, even in your sleep. That's how dreams work, man.
Believe.
That's how it works.
It actually, 100%. It doesn't have the word demon in here, which I actually find surprising.
This is a dream book. You need a book of horrors. You need a fucking nightmare book.
You're fucked up somehow.
We're at an hour. Do we end it there? Do we end it with you're fucked up somehow? Drop the recording? If we're done? Or do we go?
It doesn't even have the word monster.
I don't know.
That's a dream book.
I can look up devil. What about devil?
Sure, go for
it.
Would
you say he was a devil?
I think it was a demon. It wasn't a devil. I don't think I was visited by the devil. I did some fucked up shit. The devil was looking at my face.
All right, ready? Ready? The meaning of the symbol of evil depends greatly on the details. If you dreamed of him surrounded by his traditional instruments of punishment, you better get some professional advice concerning the guilty secret you're hiding. If your dream involved fighting him off, you will outwit those who are trying to harm you.
I didn't fight shit.
If he spoke to you, it signifies a great temptation you will find difficult to resist. And if you dream meeting with him was congenial, you would be well advised to have a medical checkup. All right, Brian.
Who was the congenial meeting with a demon? Who was like, "Hello, sir. Nice hoeing, sir.
Hey,
what are you offering today?" So wait.
Charlie Daniels.
All right, catch up. An intriguing new friend of opposite sex is predicted in a dream featuring this national weakness.
You said ketchup? We're not talking about ketchup. No one had a ketchup dream. No one fucking had a ketchup dream.
How
are you're like demons mean this, and you're like, in today's weather, 75 degrees. Like, how the fuck did that transition happen? Alright, we're done here.
Alright, so we'll be back same time next week.
No. Yes, we will actually. That was a lie. I don't know why I said no.
Just cut this part out, PJ.
And,
this is pure shit.
This is episode 2.
This is pure shit.
This is episode 2 for you.
All right.
With no winks
allowed. Say goodbye. Just say goodbye. Brian, say goodbye.
I'm getting cut off.
Bye.
I'm getting cut off. Goodbye.
All right, see ya.